President Muhammadu Buhari has brought the star power that Lekki deep sea port needed to propel it to the next level, as we like to say these days. How did he do this? He made a whistle stop to the ongoing project, and this has resulted in a firm promise for a railway track to be built to service the ports. This item has now been taken off the shopping list of the promoters of Lekki deep sea port. A road expansion is also on the cards. This is all thanks to a number of cheerleaders, the most notable of them being the Transportation Minister, Right Honourable Rotimi Amechi. That's the main subject to be presented on the program today. You're watching The Shipper, Nigeria's authoritative platform on television, where you get to know about activities in the nation's maritime industry. Also on the program, a prediction that oil prices could exceed $200 later this year. These are coming up after this break. My name is Rekia Zikru Yagoyaju. Stay tuned.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nane.
Welcome back. You're watching The Shipper, brought to you by the nation's port economic regulator, Nigerian Shippers Council. We begin the program by bringing you the good news that the federal government has further demonstrated commitment to deepen the nation's maritime capacity. President Muhammadu Buhari gave this indication during the visit to the Lekki deep sea port in Lagos. Our crew covered the visit and brought back this report presented by Lucy Ulube.
For more than 5 decades, Nigeria's seaports, especially the Tinkan Island and the Apapa ports, have been a beehive of shipping activities, as indeed they should be. These ports have handled exports and imports, resulting in the heavy human and vehicular movement witnessed in that axis. Over the years, chaotic traffic on the various access roads within and outside Nigeria's major ports, especially the Apapa and Tinkan Island ports in Lagos, has become the norm. The construction of the Lekki deep sea port in Lagos is to, among others, reduce the pressure on the existing facilities in Lagos and expand the nation's seaports and boost maritime activities in Nigeria and indeed the West African sub-region. On completion, it will be one of the biggest in West Africa. The project is being developed in phases under a public-private partnership arrangement. Lawrence Smith is the Chief Operating Officer of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. He spoke to the shipper on the history of the deep sea port, which is expected to be delivered before the end of 2022.
And the concept was Lekki Port would be the gateway into Lagos Free Zone and beyond, into the hinterland, and open up economic opportunities throughout Nigeria and beyond. But I believe the development was constructed to have a major deep sea port in Nigeria. This deep sea port would then become an economic enabler for Nigeria, open up different economic opportunities through Nigeria. The port itself would not only be destination origin cargo, as in from different parts of the world straight into Nigeria for the consumer in Nigeria, but also could become a transshipment hub, i.e. in that containers can come here on very, very large vessels and then be transshipped to other parts of West Africa and other regions in maybe ECOWAS in areas like this.
Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, disclosed that his ministry has been directed to carry out feasibility study of Lekki and its surrounding communities for road expansion and the connection of rail to the port. This, he assured, will be carefully executed to avoid a replication of the Apapa traffic in Lekki.
When we came, there was a time the chairman and I had to disagree in a meeting. Said they cannot be ready until 2023, and I said no. I will not hear that you will finish it in the first quarter of 2023. You must finish it this year. Because that was the agreement I had with Toleram Group. And we had a huge disagreement. But you can see that we're already almost ready. They've agreed that by June, the cranes will come in, the equipment will come in, and by September, they will commission it. Commercial activities may start between September and December. But so it's doable. It's doable. The way they presented it was as if it was not doable. And that's what I asked the chairman. I said, you see, the reason for the disagreement was unnecessary. You should just have gone ahead to do your work according to the agreement I reached with Toleram.
Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State said his state will certainly benefit from the establishment of the Lekki Seaport, as the state is currently activating an inland dry port in Haipang like that in Kano.
My state is already doing the Shippers Council. My state is serving already as the headquarters of the North Central Zone for Shippers Council. In Plateau State, we have an inland container at the ICD. So for us, we are waiting hopefully to see the completion of this, and which will also serve and motivate us, motivate the Shippers Council. I've seen the good work they are doing already in Plateau State, where the North Central Zone of the office is situated. And again, the minister had been there to commission the office, and also they are also preparing to build a five-star hotel in Plateau. So I will say that Plateau is part of this project. We are anxiously waiting for the completion of this, and we also wait for the completion of our own in Plateau State.
The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, believes that Lekki Port, when operational, will reduce the cost of doing business in Nigeria and boost maritime activities in an unprecedented way. Jime disclosed that the port has the capacity to handle large vessels that have never bettered in any of the nation's ports before. He added that the automation of the port will make it cost-effective.
So this is the first real seaport that we're having in our country. So even from that perspective alone, that gives us the comfort, and the recognition that as far as economics of scale, we're going to begin to have a boost, in commercial activities in ways that have never been envisaged or in ways that we have never experienced before.
Incidentally, Jime, as former managing director of the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, was instrumental to moving the project forward.
The impact of this free port is that with the kind of size, this deep sea port, the first of its kind in West Africa, with the kind of size we have here, it can accept the biggest vessels in the world. The multiplier effect is phenomenal. We are going to have thousands and thousands of Nigerians working here. The effect on the GDP is going to be awesome. It's also going to open the doors for those who want to have their factories and their production centers in the free zone. It's just from the port and into the free zones.
The managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello Koko, announced that Lekki Seaport will begin test run by September 2022 adding that facility, which sits on 90 hectares of land, will have 3 container terminals, being the first automated port for cargo's evacuation in Nigeria.
Most likely, we might go deeper, we'll leave it at the current depth of 13.5. But what is most important is to rehabilitate the facilities at that point. So no, we are not going to remove our eyes from the ball as it relates to supervising Tinkan and Papa because Lekki has come along.
According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Lekki Free Port, Denrick Moose, the project is 85% complete. He added that the contractor is working hard to deliver the project at the agreed time.
Construction company, which is Chile, is currently above 85% completion. We are all confident that it will meet up with the deadline and even exceed the expectations of the Nigerian government.
The head of government and security, Lekki Deep Port Terminal, Fubara Anwata, said the port is the only one in Africa that has ship-to-shore cranes, the type found at container terminals for loading and offloading intermodal containers from container ships.
Well, this project is a very good one for the Federal Republic of Nigeria because this is going to be the first deep sea port with a very good draft. We have a draft of 16.5. As a matter of fact, you can attest to the fact that prior to this now coming up, the other ports don't have this draft. So naturally, bigger vessels will be able to call at this port, and that would enable us to the Nigerian government to be able to get additional revenue as regards transshipment, because because of the draft level, bigger vessels go to other African countries. So that's this port now will be able to manage.
The Lekki Deep Sea Port is a multi-purpose infrastructure and is one of the most modern ports in West Africa, offering world-class service. Lekki Free Trade Zone Enterprise was awarded the concession for 45 years. When fully completed, the deep sea port will be able to handle 6 million TEUs of containers amongst other cargoes. It will have 3 container berths, 1 for dry bulk and 2 for liquid cargo.
Here's hoping that all parties concerned realize that the work has just begun. There's still so much blood, sweat, and tears to be shed for the deep sea port to deliver all it is promising. When that memo for the railway line reaches the Federal Executive Council, many will lose nights of sleep before it is delivered as a live project. Here is to our collective rolling up of sleeves. The work is hard, but we are all up to the task, aren't we? Let's now stroll over to the Titbits Corner, where Abike Idowu is standing by with news of maritime events around the world. Will crude oil really sell for $200? Over to you, Abike.
The delivery of quality services can only be secured when corruption is mitigated at the seaport. Now, this statement was made by the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Shippers Council, NSC, Honorable Emmanuel Jime, when members of the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms, TUGA, paid a visit to the Council at the Abuja Liaison Office. The Executive Secretary emphasized the important role the Council is playing in regulating the commercial sector of the maritime domain.
The shipping industry occupies a very sensitive but actually a very strategic position as far as the nation's economy is concerned. I have no hesitation in actually saying that it is the nerve center of the nation's economy. Then what that means, therefore, is that if there is any sector of the nation's economic activity that needs to be sanitized, that needs, for corruption to be, if not totally eliminated, reduced to the barest minimum, it goes without saying that it has to be the maritime industry. And so the work of the Port Standing Task Team, which actually draws from the activities of TUGA, in line, of course, with the desire of the present administration. And I think it has to be the desire of really every decent an honest Nigerian, to see that there is sanity restored in the public domain, particularly, as I will keep emphasizing, in the maritime industry. It goes again without saying that we should give it, the total support that it needs. I'm glad, Ma, to say that because of the work of the port standing task team, leading towards the implementation of the port process manual, the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network does appear to have given us a pass mark because of the work that has been done. So just when everybody seems to think that perhaps nothing good can come out of this nation, I have to say that I believe it is gladdening, and it actually is a matter of joy to the heart to know that there are actually international institutions that are beginning to recognize that indeed some amount of work, good work, is coming out of the shores of this country. And we'll have to be very, very happy and to be proud of the work that this team is doing.
A certain league has expressed readiness to strengthen the relationship between it and the council. I'm talking about the League of Maritime Editors. The president, Mr. Kingsley Anaroke, revealed this when he led members on a courtesy visit to NS's headquarters in Lagos.
We deem our meeting today very important to the growth of the industry, especially when the cream of our members are pioneers of transport and maritime journalism. With close to 30 years and above experience in the industry, we feel obliged to always make professional interventions in form of advocacy and counseling. While we applaud your commitment to continuity and sustainability of projects and ideals of the successive leadership of the Council, we advise that you do not hesitate to make some radical changes with national interest in mind. We commend your sustained commitment to the realization of the Inland Container Depot, or dry ports, and the vehicle transit areas, also known as TTP, spread across the country to ensure that their potentials are optimized for the growth of the sector.
The Executive Secretary and CEO of the Council, Emmanuel Jime, on the achievements and the activities of the Council.
The regulatory services in the recent times have actually begun the process, and they're actively engaged in discussing with shipping line terminal operators in order to make sure that there is a negotiation as to how, charges, especially local charges, can be levied. We recognize that we have a responsibility, to make certain that nobody should be arbitrary in the way that impacting on charges. But let's also be honest. The inflationary situation is actually creating a lot of challenge. So sometimes when we talk about these things, we have to be clear that some other variables are playing that are making it difficult to just simply sit down in an office and just decree that this is, the cost implication of whatever transactions you're expected to get into.
To strengthen relations between the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, and the Nigerian Shippers Council, Emmanuel Jime met with the Acting Director General of ICRC, Michael Oihani, in Abuja. The meeting was also to promote the implementation of the Council's two critical transport infrastructure, that is the inland dry port and vehicle transit areas. We continue to urge stakeholders in the maritime industry to visit the Council's website on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng for more information on our services, as well as report any complaints using the PSSP portal, www.pssp.ng. Let's now check on our complaints register for the week. 4 complaints were received, and they are all ongoing investigations. The type of complaints include terminal charges, demurrage waiver, and transfer charges. And now, global maritime news. Oil traders have projected that crude oil prices could exceed $200 later this year. Quoted in the Financial Times newspaper, hedge fund manager Pierre Andurand warned, "We are not going back to normal business in a few months." He said that Europe has probably lost Russian supplies forever. Meanwhile, the European Union is scrambling to replace Russian gas imports with supplies from elsewhere. The new South Devon College Marine Academy aims to close the skill gap in the marine and maritime industry with training in new and emerging technologies. Built on the site of a former historic Philip and Son boatyard, the academy said its curriculum has been designed to meet the needs of the maritime sector with training technology like autonomous vessels and electric and hybrid propulsion systems. Facilities include a marine engineering workshop, research and design facility, innovation hub, navigation suites, and a bridge simulator. The Liberian Registry has been awarded Qualship 21, that's QS 21 status for 2022 to 2023 by the United States Coast Guard. The program recognizes vessels and flag states which have successfully met specified safety and quality requirements and regulations when calling at ports in the United States. To qualify for QS21, flag administrations must have a 3-year Port States Control PSC detention ratio of less than 1% and be credited with 10+ PSC exams per year for the last 3 years. QS21 status brings advantages to vessels visiting the United States. Damien Shipyard Group and the Hellenic Marine Equipment Manufacturers and Exports have signed a declaration of intent to enhance cooperation in shipbuilding and development of marine equipment and ship technology. Building on a long-standing relationship, the declaration involves sharing of information about new marine equipment, shipbuilding technology, and the organization of networking events to promote cooperation between Damien and Greek suppliers in various projects. And that's it on this week's Tidbits. Till next time.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
And that's all we have for you on The Shipper today. We thank you very much for watching. Before we go, a quick reminder to all regulated service providers to register with Nigerian Shippers Council. Until we meet again next week for another episode of your favorite maritime program on television, be safe and sail smoothly through the week. Goodbye.